Hey guys! Many of you know I went to my very first writers conference in Pennsylvania last weekend. I learned a lot of things and I want to offer you 3 do's and 3 don'ts for the next time you go to a writers conference. For the do's, number 1, be prepared. When I say be prepared, I don't just mean remembering to bring a notebook and a pencil. Have copies of your registration and your query letter if you need it, and business cards, but also have a plan. Lots of times there's so much going on that if you don't know what you're doing, it can be a little overwhelming. Number 2, participate. A chick that I met my very first night commented that our mixer kind of felt like a middle school dance because you had this urge to cling to the wall as everybody sort of walked around you because it is a little intimidating. But you don't need to be intimidated. The other writers are just as excited and curious as you and nervous as well. Also, I had the privilege of meeting Jonathan Mayberry, who's a New York Times bestseller, and he happened to be really cool and very helpful, and I would have missed that if I had just stayed in my room. So get out there, get involved. And number 3, be happy for other people. Now, I wasn't there to pitch to an agent or meet with an editor. I'm past that point in the process. But for a lot of people there, that's exactly what they were doing. So if someone you just met got a partial request from an agent, give them a high five. Or if you meet somebody who hasn't even finished their manuscript, give them props for being brave enough to even come to a conference in the first place. Writing is a community, and you would want them to celebrate with you, so do the same for them. Okay, for the don'ts. Number 1, while you should be prepared, don't be rigid. Sometimes the best things that happen by accident, so have a plan, but don't be glued to it. Number 2, while you should participate, don't be a creeper. If you're there to meet with authors or agents, lurking behind them and waiting for an opportunity to pounce on them is just weird. And don't do it. Don't do it. This won't help you. It'll only make you seem super strange, more so than usual. And number 3, while you're celebrating with others, don't expect anybody to celebrate you if you're acting like a tool. Of course you should be proud of your book, brag about it, brag about your manuscript, brag about your query letter. You should be stoked. However, if you've brought copies of your entire manuscript to hand out or maybe get feedback on, it's just a little overwhelming. You really just shouldn't do that. Also, if you go to a session where there's a Q&A and you use your question basically as an opportunity to pitch your book and then add a tiny little specific self-centered question to the end, it's rude and it wastes people's time, so don't do that. That said, I had a really great time, and if you go on a writers conference, I hope that you have a great time too. Alright, that's it for now. If you've already been to a conference, leave your advice for others in the info.